Hey guys, welcome back to another makeup tutorial. So I'm going to first prep my skin with a moisturizer. To be honest, I don't really think a primer is that important, especially for oily skin. But a moisturizer is always just so key. I put some on my eyebrows as well. And then I'm gonna get some eye creams. I use this eye serum from MAC that I also use as a eye primer because I'm gonna use some eyeshadows today, so I always try to put something on my eye area if I'm going to apply makeup. But I don't really use an eye primer. I've had an eye primer before, but I don't really think it's that useful. So now I'm just gonna dab it into my skin. I usually apply a thicker cream on my skin prior to makeup, but if I'm not wearing makeup, then I usually apply something that's lighter. And that's because I found that if my skin is more dewy and more moist, makeup stays better on it. But if I'm not putting anything like powder makeup on my skin, then just having a very dewy skin actually make my skin break out a little bit. And another thing I've realized, I suppose somewhat through experimentation, is that I always put on contacts on my eyes before I do eye makeup. Because otherwise, if you want to put contacts after, it's actually really difficult. And you risk getting powder into your eyes. Let me just dab this a bit in. So I'm just gonna massage it. I use my fourth finger to just massage on the eye area, because apparently that's that finger has it drags your skin less. And then I'm just gonna dab it, massage, make sure that my skin is all moist and prepared. Let's use a little bit more. I don't really care which cream I use, as long as it does the job. It's somewhat oily, but not too oily for my skin. Oh, I feel like I put a bit too much eye cream on this area. Oh. So now I'm gonna give it a few moments for my skin to settle in, for the cream on my skin to settle in, and then I'm going to apply makeup. Hey guys, I'm back again. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply a lip balm over my lips just to moisturize it before I put on any makeup, any lipstick. Stay hydrated. I dab my lip balm on my lips because I found that dabbing it on your lips instead of dragging it actually make sure that like the skin on my lip break less, because otherwise sometimes like I drag my lip balm through my lips and then the skin on my lip crack, and then I can't apply any lipstick on it because it has cracked. So that's something I've also realized. So I'm gonna give it a few moments to soak into my skin. Do that. I also put a bit on the corner of my lips because sometimes like the skin on the corner of my lips crack. I think my skin's just cracking everywhere. So I've also make sure to moisturize that part as well. And now I'm going to try my trick that I've recently found, which is to use this like a primer for oily skin. Like parts where I'm quite oily, like my T-zone, because that's applying this primer and then applying makeup actually does like such a wonderful thing for my skin. It actually gets oily so much less, so that's what I'm going to do. I actually think that when people say primer protects your skin, I actually don't believe it anymore, because I think it's also a sort of like a form of makeup, and you can't use makeup to protect your skin from further makeup. I'm now using this BB cream from Iborian to just like as to conceal, because I think this color is actually it's actually alright, but there was a point where my skin got pretty light and this primer became too dark for this BB cream became too dark for my skin, and I don't know how to use it. Now so I'm just gonna use it as a dark circle concealer, which actually works fine. I like Iborian stuff. I just think the color, the shades they have available is just so limited. Okay. I also did something that I shouldn't have done, which is that I didn't conceal my dark circles properly, and now I look like I have an eye bag. So I'm gonna put it just like down there at the bottom of the eyeshadow as the eye bag. Dark circle. Okay, now this was better. I still have some left. Oops. Okay, good. Oh yeah, good. Alright, good. I might just put the remainder on my nose. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to do my eyebrows. I use this brow pencil from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I've actually I always try to put my arm on the desktop, on the table, before I do my eyes. And I just draw strokes. And the strokes. And then I'm going to apply. Oops, that was scary, but thankfully it didn't get on my clothes. And I use this like cushion cream balm lip blush, and I use like this kind of wet puff to dab it. The fact using a puff to dab it is so much easier than using a finger. Actually, 1 second, so before I dab it, I'm going to apply some further primer. I'm using this one from Bobbi Brown. I'm trying to find the finger that I haven't touched makeup with. And just like dab some primer on where I'm going to dab my blush, so it's more moisturized. I'd rather apply makeup on more wet, more oily skin than more dry skin. So I'm gonna dab it so it soaks in. Then I'm going to dab some blush. I'm gonna give it a moment to soak in. So while I do that, I'm going to apply some lip makeup. So I use this lip pencil from Huda Beauty. I think it's in the shade Pinky Brown. So it's like a shade very similar to my actual lip. Okay. I used to overline my lips, but now I don't do it anymore because I realize I actually don't suit this look. And then I'm going to dab some blush on my... I'm going to dab some blush on my cheeks. Because this blush is quite pink, so I'm actually going to put it at the center of my cheeks than on my cheekbones. But if it's a more grayish, more bronzing color, I'm going to dab it under my cheekbones. But it's annoying because I actually put a lot of blush on it, but because of the camera light, I look like I haven't applied anything. And finally, I'm going to put like a lipstick on my lips. Just dab it. I love dabbing. I think this is what applies the color most evenly, which is the dab. Okay, I'm happy with this look. And that's it. Thank you for watching.